Hello again and welcome back to my channel. Today I am going to be giving you 7 tips on how to be a better godparent. I know these things not because I am the best godparent in the world, so I'm not trying to say that I'm an expert by any means, but I recently found this card that was supposed to go to one of my children's godparents, and our priest actually gave it out to one of the godparents, and somehow it got mixed up and ended up in my son's stuff from the day. You know how it goes. It's busy, you're gathering up things, and so I ended up with it. So I'm going to give it to his godfather, but I was looking through it and it shares the role of godparents, and it gives some very tangible, practical ways to be the best godparent that you can be. So in combination with these things, along with some other ideas that I had and that I do, I wanted to share them with you because sometimes it feels like we get this wonderful honor of being a godparent, and it feels like it's just that one day, that one special day of the baptism, and then after that, we're not really given a ton of guidance unless we seek it out. So I wanted this to be a reminder and encouragement for you if you are a godparent to maybe implement some of these things in your life in order to best serve your godchild. Number 1 is to celebrate the anniversary of the baptism date. This could be done by either a simple call, text, email, or card in the mail. It's such a small and simple thing that is incredibly powerful, especially when you think of the duration of the child's life. It's a good reminder that they have loving and encouraging godparents there to support them and who love them and who are thinking about them. And how many people remember their baptismal date? Not many that I know. And so it would be a good way to encourage your godchild in the faith if you remember that day. Now, what if you forgot the date? A few ideas on how you could figure it out. First, you could ask the parents of the godchild, assuming that they were a baby or an infant as they were baptized. If you have any pictures from the day, you can look back, and usually in each picture that you take, there is a date associated with the date that that picture was taken. So that's a good way to figure out the date of the baptism. You could also call the parish. I'm not completely certain if every parish will just tell anybody the baptismal date. I think they will though. And even you could have the parent of your godchild call up to the church and just ask what was the date of their baptism. And then there you go. You have the date, now you know it, and you can send it to them. And if for some other reason you cannot find the exact date, if you know the approximate date, you could send out a card that's kind of generalized so it doesn't have to be 100% specific. My stepdaughter's godfather is a good family friend of ours, a friend of my husband's, and he always makes the effort to send her a card in the mail each year on her baptismal date. And I've never heard of anybody doing that before him, and I thought that was so special and beautiful. So it's something that I want to make sure that I do for my goddaughter, especially as she grows. Tip number 2, keep your own faith strong and grow to become more knowledgeable about your faith. This is an important one. It's one of those things where you have to feed yourself before you can feed others. You know, you put your own oxygen mask on the airplane before you can service others, because if you don't have yourself spiritually sound, how can you help your godchild? So it's important over the years for that honor and gift of being chosen to be a godparent, to be that fuel for you to grow in your faith and to better yourself as an individual. That way you can better serve your godchild. As I often say, that could be reading the Bible more often, or listening to some good podcasts, and finding some good YouTube channels. And when you have questions or doubts about the faith, try to find the answers. Seek out good resources to help you learn the faith better, to defend the faith in a greater way. And if you can't find it online, you can always talk to your local parish priest, and they would be a pretty good person to direct you with the information that you need. Number 3 is to encourage a consistent life of faith. And to do this, I would make a big deal of religious holidays and throughout their lives as they start to receive the sacraments. Typically around age 7, they'll start First Reconciliation and First Holy Communion, and then eventually confirmation. And then long term, when it comes to their religious vocation, are they called to priesthood, religious life, single life, marriage, being a good resource for them and support system for them through all of those things. So always be focused on their spiritual life. Keep it in the back of your mind. How can you reach out to them and encourage and support the faith in their life? Number 4 was the tip given in that card that I mentioned to you earlier, and it is to give your godchild religious themed gifts. So whenever there's an occasion to give them something, try your best to give them something that can build their faith. Maybe it's a book or a rosary. This is my own personal preference, but I would suggest not giving them figurines just from a parental perspective, because my 9-year-old just had her first communion in May last year, and she received so many figurines, all of which are beautiful and special, but how many first communion figurines can one person have, and do they desire to have sitting out? It was really fun for the first few weeks, but then now we have all these figurines, and you're kind of in this position where they're special and sentimental, so you don't want to get rid of them, but at the same time you don't really want to put them anywhere, so you just store them in a box and it's pointless. So I would encourage you, if you want to give them something that they can actually use, whether it's a poster or a tote bag, or there's a lot of really awesome Catholic shops online where you can get cool t-shirts and things relating to the faith. So I would encourage you to think about something like that. Maybe if they're older and in high school or something, you could pay for them to go on to a retreat or a youth group event and sponsor them in that way. That could be something, if they're open to going, that you could do as a godparent as a gift. Number 5, this seems so basic and simple, but it is incredibly important, and that is to pray for them. Pray for them every single day and their needs. And even beyond that, let them know that you're praying for them, because your prayer is powerful, but there's something about knowing that somebody is praying for you and that they care about you from a spiritual perspective that strengthens you, I believe. And so when you see them, just say, hey, I've been praying for you. Or you could even periodically ask them, hey, I pray for you a lot. Is there anything in specific that you need prayers for right now? And not only can that open up conversation, but it can help you have a better idea of what intentionally to pray for them and to best help them with whatever things that they are struggling with in their life, or even the joys that are in their life. What exciting things are happening. Oh, cool. I'll pray that God continues to bless you in that way and continues to pour out his goodness and kindness on you. And so just be constantly thinking of ways you can pray for them and be specific. Number 6, be supportive of the children's parents. And by this, I would recommend praying for your godchild's parents and siblings. Ask them if there's anything as a parent that you can help them with, and just be a resource for the parents. Don't try to come off as somebody who knows it all or knows better than them, or try to overstep your boundaries as a godparent, but just make it clear that you're open to helping them in any way that they need, and that you're a loving, supportive person who wants to serve them by helping them in raising their child and encouraging the faith in them. Finally, number 7, be an example. Again, another very basic concept, but it is the most powerful thing that you can do. Continue to find ways to grow in your faith, grow in your knowledge of the beauty of the Catholic Church and of Scripture. And so that way, that child will look to you as a resource, as a model of holy Christian living. They will look to you and see what you're doing with your life. And even if they don't tell you, it will inspire them. And if they know that you're living out your faith down the road, it's a lot easier to go to you and ask you for advice. They know that you're a good, trusted resource. They know that you are knowledgeable and somebody that they can go to. So Lead by example. It's all about your actions, not merely your words, but words of affirmation and encouragement can work wonders in helping that child flourish in their spiritual life as they go through this journey. I hope this video gave you some ideas on things that you can do to strengthen your bond with your godchildren and to grow and become a better godparent overall. If you have any additional tips or things that you've done for your godchildren or that your godparents have done for you, feel free to leave them in the comments below to give other people your ideas and suggestions. Subscribe if you like this channel, and I thank you for watching. Bye, everyone.